Okay. This is gonna be a bit different from my typical videos. I'm gonna like wrap up like tips and tricks or just general advice for most beginner players for just common things to keep in mind. Um, Most of it will be, I guess, if you're gonna start a new account, since I was looking at my alt account and it's very far behind. Um, feel like at that point, might as well try my luck and start a new one. But I don't think I'll get to that anytime soon compared to how much they have released in game. So first things first, I did notice that my alt account was able to be part of the ads, mobile ads, I guess test group. I know some people weren't given that opportunity. So if you got lucky with that, that would help you a lot in the beginning, since that would give you a good chunk of credits and blueprints, so you don't have to be, I guess, waiting for your daily um, blueprints that you're able to get from the silver crates. They'll speed up a bit your progress, but most of the time, well, now that there's a good amount of weapons being released for Gear Hub, you're gonna be able to get what's it called? Well, not end game weapons, but mostly um I would say 10 the variants energies like weapons are going to be a good thing for most people in the beginning, since m- most people won't be able to get um their maxed. So having 24 energy would not be a possibility in the beginning. Also, I know that most people will probably try to keep their mechs even, so actually like building up their mechs instead of having one that's like maxed, since I believe once you get the 6 star, that's where they're going to be introducing mods into your gameplay, or you're going to be able to add mods to your um, characters, well, mechs. For that type of resource, I believe it's only through the weekly that we can get some of that. So winning 8 battles once a week, you can get that done, and also logging in 3 times like, during that week. You probably will have to save up those until you're able to get the, I believe, yeah, the parameter multi-layer. This is probably going to be your best bet for mods. Let me see who doesn't have it so I can kind of compare it. Okay, that's not bad. So I think it'll be like 3 weeks. So in a month, you'll be able to unlock this. Also, with the resources they give you at the beginning, I know that they do the tutorial to make you use these points. If you just wait out like 30 seconds or so on like the screen here, because it says like install, you're gonna be able to skip it. There's gonna be a little tab on this corner where you're gonna be able to skip it and save those resources, since you'll most likely need them to upgrade a little of the parameter. Let's see. A lot of weapons have been released into the gear hub. Most of them I can't really say like what would be beneficial here, but judging by, yeah, like at least each class will have something useful. Won't really say the assault has ever gotten anything useful, so we can probably avoid that in the beginning. Miserax will still be a good choice, but at this point, if you're able to save your resources, since I believe these are going to be 8 coins, try getting the storm racks. Um, 6 and 10s will probably be your best bets. I know it's a lot of resources in terms of sorry, credits, not A coins. But beams, I don't think these would be as useful even mid game or end game, since even Gravitons got a big nerf with mods. I know in the beginning it's gonna be a bit easier since you're not gonna be facing too many mods. But no, yeah. Okay, so moving down the list here, Embers will probably be your best choice in terms of close quarter weapons. Pretty neat that they actually left them for like in-game currency. Obviously, some of it are going to be A coins, the other one's going to be credits. Later on, ideally, it would have to be like revokers. That's probably end game what everybody uses in terms of this class. Try avoiding like fragment guns. I know they're a bit cheaper than embers, but judging by how much more effective they are, these are probably going to be worth the wait. Unless, let me check. I think the implants for those are they going to be cheap? I don't think so since they're rare. Yeah. Okay. I guess now that I'm in the implant section here, starting, it's not that bad to like use some implants along with the pilots. Um, some of these pilots don't do what I did and max these out. It's a waste of resources once you get it like past 4 star, I believe. Yeah, 4 or 5. Like I think it's 4. Past this point, ranking them up past this, you're better off saving those resources for the epics, or even alone. Like if you're able to save up the A coins for it, there's a good amount of pilots they have released per class. At least I think one is available for 8 coins per class. Obviously, it's a lot. So most people would use this for mech or weapons. So I don't blame you if you can't get a legendary. The epics are still pretty affordable and they deal a good amount of damage. So please, if you're able to, don't do what I did and max out the rares. If needed, get them to 4 star. Don't rank them up because that's a lot of resources. Pilot marks are one of the harder ones to get since we don't get them through like tournaments. We don't really get them from anywhere besides I think our like daily, yeah, our daily login. So keep that in mind. In terms of resources in game, it might seem like we have a lot, but it takes a lot more to upgrade things towards the end of the game. Also, ranking up mechs. Mm, in terms of beginners, um, avoid empty. I know I haven't maxed in eras, but just try getting like some stars on the beginning here just to level them up. Don't max them out. For this, I think the only, because I think these are in different tiers. I think this up to 16. There's like 24, I believe, or 30. Then 36 stars you'll need. It doesn't show on my end since I have more than that at the moment. And let's see. So kill shot, I was lucky enough to get him beforehand. Same thing with Panther. Those are, I feel like Panther is a well-rounded. Towards mid game, he gives you a lot of protection while giving you high energy, so it's not a bad thing to get. Aegis is another tank that if you're just getting into the tier 5, it's a good one to get. One of the better tanks in my opinion, because once you get to tier 8 and 9, obviously those are the best tanks we have in game. So if you're just getting into this tier without getting Aegis, I feel like at that point you can hold off on getting him, since all the resources you would be spending on him You're better off getting one of these, like four, and I think those are like the main ones. Guardian, it's not that bad to get him early on, but don't max him out like I did. I think they are offering his implant for 8 coins, which is pretty neat. Yeah. Um, I guess if you have the resources, this wouldn't be a bad thing to get for Guardian if you are gonna be like playing in the mid game area for a bit. Because later on, he is not really useful late or end game. There's a lot more things that you can replace him with. Um, but some of these, I believe you're able to get through some Gear Hub like achievements. So look, keep an eye out for that. I know the MD heal, but sadly, I wouldn't recommend anybody get that time being. So this is not that bad. I know it's a good chunk of 8 coins for someone that is just a beginner. Probably doing some like tournaments will probably take you a month or so. Obviously, not getting first place is not like it's very hard nowadays. So even just participating and trying to get what's it called, golden tokens, fortune keys, will be very beneficial. One thing that I do see people do um, is save up for the 20s, which is not a bad thing, just because they see big rewards down here. Um, but in terms of the actual possibilities of you getting it, my odds are a bit higher than I think what your stat or your possibilities would be. Mostly because I got rid of all the skins I had here for the basic 5 one. Um, I see yeah. Any skins you have here are also at the 10 and 20, and those have a higher percentage than anything in these crates. So if you have a rare skin and then you spin it, most of the time you'll get that rare skin. So at the end of the day, you're spending more fortune like tokens to get like the same thing from a 5. So please, if you guys are able to, try knocking these out before you go into the 10 and 20. Obviously, getting rid of the legendaries will help you, increase your chances of the resources. But at the end of the day, I've just gone back to opening 10s. I know I'll never get rid of all these skins, so it's not a possibility, but I do have a better chance of getting 8 coins from here. So it's like almost a 16% compared to a like 3-ish, 4% on this. 2, 3, yeah, like a 5% almost. So just a heads up, anybody that is saving those, please go from left to right, not like all these skins out until you only have credits. Then you can try your luck for legendaries, since you will get a nice boost for them, since there's not going to be any rares in there. And then once you're satisfied with all the legendaries you acquired, you can go back to the 10s and just try your luck on getting more 8 coins and skins at the end of the day. Um, okay, well, that's for the fortune stuff. Weapon wise, there's a lot of things that I would recommend at least starting. Most people have a hard time using these weapons. Where are they? Nades and cryos. Personally, I would recommend the like nades 10s. Those will help you out a lot. One of the few weapons that I personally don't have, but would recommend people use it if they're in mid game to go into late game. They're very good up close, mid range, and long range. They take a little skill to use over time. It's not an easy, lock in and shoot type of weapon. As long as you know your distance, if you do have the 80 meters, or if you have the implant for it, that will help you a lot. Um, Personally, I would always recommend miniguns over chain guns, but obviously, I think chain guns are the ones that are for credits. You're still able to use those. I mean, they're not too bad. I know that give it, I don't give it enough credit since I have a bias towards minigun. Would not recommend getting those, but if you do want to have a heavy weapon or heavy duty, I would recommend these over the Dread Shot and the Hellfire. Pod guns, they're not released yet, but I wish they will. I need those. But no, yeah. Nades are a really good support slash aggressive weapon, depending on how you want to play it. As you guys can see, I do have my Nate 12s maxed out. I've been using those for a while, and my 16s, I'm working on it, which I don't think I'll get to max, but they do a really good job. Those are really good for supports. You're not in the up front. You can be back line or center, midfield. You're not really a frontline aggressor with those. If you are trying to be a frontline aggressor, that's where the embers and fragment, yeah, guns come in. You can probably mix and match those if you're not able to get multiple of embers. These are not that bad. Obviously, please save your resources. Don't get the arc turret. I've gotten it before. It got nerfed. So just an announcement for everybody. I know I have them almost maxed. Please don't invest into embers and into fragment guns. In terms of those, until you're able to acquire some of the revokers for endgame, since everybody's been using those. Beams, sadly, they're not ideal towards late game or end game, since the mods kind of just eat up all the damage. Missiles, there's a lot of variety here, which I do like. Ideally, would be Stormax and Missile Racks for your main burst damage. They're both really useful. Even 12s and 16s. Actually, the radius is not there, so you would need some implants for it. But overall, they are pretty solid weapons. They have some good distance, 150 meters, so you're still able to keep your distance. Um, but I think that's mostly for the weapons. I just want to talk over the ones that I thought I should emphasize for people to get. I know that I have a personal bias against assaults. I did get carbines, and before then they weren't that good, and they're not good up to date. Like they don't do enough damage. Um, Overdriver is probably the weapon I'll be getting later on, since it's similar to minigun, since it doesn't need a reload, but obviously minigun offers just more damage since it can sustain fire for longer. Mm, Guided, I mean, helix are still kind of useful, and I think yeah, they are out on Gear Hub. So if you guys are able to use those, I'm not too against it. But it's very limited. It's mostly for control points since it's harder to use them in 2v2s. Pilots, kind of already mentioned it. Try saving up for epics and legendaries, since those are you're able to get them through 8 coins. Don't do what I did once again on upgrading rares to the max. It's I believe, a waste of resources. Okay, and implants. Implants is another thing. They have released a lot of implants for credits and 8 coins. If you feel that you're going to be using some of the weapons towards end game. So like Stormax or what's the other one? Nades is another weapon that I can see. Like beginner tiers like 3 and 4 use those implants towards late game since nades are still I'm still using them towards late game since you can add more distance to it. Meaty gun is another one that needs a lot of them, so I'll probably tell everybody to save their 8 coins and resources for it. If you get lucky with them, try upgrading a bit. Just do remember that once you upgrade them, you cannot reset it. You can remove it. So keep that in mind. Oh, last but not least, for implants, try avoid. Well, yeah, avoid maxing them unless you. No, yeah, try avoid maxing them. There's only a handful of implants that would benefit from maxing them, but it's just a lot of resources. Like these 40,000 could get you like 4 levels on another legendary instead of just upgrading one. So I've seen a lot of players, and I was one of them, to have all my implants maxed, even the legendaries. But it's just not worth it in the long run. I know I have enough to upgrade these, but it's better off just leaving them at 5 and using those extra resources that you would have spent on it on new implants so you have more of a variety for your weapons. Since before this update for the implants, I shot myself like in the foot with my resources since I only built up, I think it was 5 pilots with maxed implants. So I couldn't use any other weapons. So I was kind of stuck with those until this update where everything got resetted. Well, reset everything and then built up my implants. Let me see. Oh, okay. Last thing. So if you're still new to the game, remember check out other content creators or just Macarena page. I believe they do announce more promo codes nowadays. It wasn't really a thing a couple of years ago. So you're able to get a couple extra resources and even mechs sometimes through the codes. So keep an eye on those. Let me see. What else am I forgetting here? Hmm. Inventory, implants, resources. Oh, tournaments. Once again, it varies from 5v5 to free for all. If you're a beginner person, I believe you're not able to do free for all if you only have 3 or 4 mechs. But don't rush, I guess, to unlock those mechs. Well, those slots on your hanger. Those resources are better off used on mechs and weapons. Um, until I believe you hit like tier 4 or 5. I think 4. Yeah, you should be able to unlock like 4 or 5 mechs. Like once you're at tier 5, I believe at that point you should be definitely be unlocking your 5th mech since you're should be able to get 5 decent ones there. Okay. Um. Yeah, I think that's it. Resources. Try to save your resources as much as you can. Not just because you have them sitting there, you should use them. I believe once in a while they do release pilots. It hasn't been, well, they haven't done it in a while, but if they do that again, they've released a couple pilots for 8 coins and credits. Very rare for them to do credits, but most of the time is 1 million credits. So if you're a beginner, I know that's a lot to ask. But if you do your like daily ads, I think yeah, that adds up some credits and blueprints. So, let me see what else am I forgetting. Mechs, weapons, pilots, implants. Mentioned quickly that you're able to buy implants nowadays with credits and 8 coins. 8 coins are a bit more harder to get, but at least you're not waiting for a legendary or trying to buy a legendary since those are very expensive. And I think that's it. If you guys have any more questions or comments, or if I forgot anything for just tips in general for 2025, trying to put everything together that has happened from I started the game till now. They have added a couple things to make it a bit easier for getting resources. Like I know that some people, well, I'm on my computer, but if you're on mobile, you're able to get ads and get crates and resources. Always participate in tournaments, which is a big thing. You don't have to win first as long as you come in second, or within second or third. You're still getting a good amount of fortune keys, which in hands might be able to give you 8 coins or credits. Always try to get the events done that we were given, since those do also give either some resources along the way, crates. They don't give as much 8 coins as they used to, but they every little thing adds up towards the end. Mm, yeah, okay, I'll wrap it up there since it's a long video. Appreciate everybody that tuned in, and yeah, just feel free to leave a comment or questions on how, um, if I missed anything, or if you had more questions about a certain topic. I appreciate everybody, took their time to watch this video, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Freaking job.
Yeah,
That's not
that's
how
a
I want to do the
proper
third.
GG.